Bitcoin as money? Seriously? Alright, let's play a game. What if I told you there's a country out there where you can buy your morning coffee, a new pair of sneakers, even pay your taxes with Bitcoin? Not through some shady third-party app, not by converting it to cash first. I mean, you walk in, scan a QR code, and boom, transaction complete. You're probably thinking, okay, Hassan, what sci-fi movie did you just watch? Is this Wakanda? Are we talking about some futuristic tech bro paradise that exists only on a server in Silicon Valley? But no, I'm talking about a real country, a place with beaches, volcanoes, and now a national crypto wallet. This isn't a hypothetical. This is happening right now. The country is El Salvador, a small nation in Central America, and in 2021, it did something no other country on Earth had ever done. It made Bitcoin legal tender. Now, what does legal tender even mean? It's a fancy term for official money. It's the stuff that, by law, businesses have to accept as payment. In the US, it's the dollar bills with the faces of dead presidents on them. In El Salvador, it's the US dollar. And now, a decentralized digital currency invented by a mysterious person named Satoshi Nakamoto. It's a wild concept. Think about how insane that is for a second. One day you're using dollars. The next day you're being told that this volatile digital asset that your cousin won't shut up about at Thanksgiving is now on the same level as the world's most dominant currency. It's like if the government suddenly announced that alongside the dollar, you could now officially pay for everything with Pokemon cards. Yeah, I'll take a grande latte, that'll be 3 Charizards, please. The move sent shockwaves across the globe, from the halls of the World Bank to the crypto-obsessed corners of Reddit. Everyone had the same question. Why? The announcement itself was peak 2021. It didn't happen in a stuffy press conference or through a formal government decree. Nope. The president of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, a millennial who loves Twitter and often wears a backward baseball cap, dropped the news at a Bitcoin conference in Miami. He appeared on a giant screen via a pre-recorded video, and the crowd of crypto enthusiasts went absolutely bonkers. It was less like a major economic policy shift and more like a surprise album drop from Beyoncé. The world of international finance was completely blindsided, and El Salvador was suddenly the main character in the global crypto saga. So, who is the guy behind this whole thing? Meet Nayib Bukele. He's not your typical politician. Before becoming president, he was a mayor. And before that, he ran his family's businesses. He's young, he's extremely online, and he has cultivated this image of a cool, tech-savvy disruptor. He's the kind of leader who changes his Twitter bio to the world's coolest dictator as a joke. Or maybe not a joke? It's complicated. But one thing is clear. He loves making big, bold moves that grab international headlines, and making Bitcoin legal tender was his biggest move yet. The law itself, called the Bitcoin Law, was rushed through the legislature in a matter of hours. There wasn't a lot of debate, no long committee meetings. President Bukele's party has a supermajority, so what he wants, he generally gets. The law basically said 2 things. First, Bitcoin is now official money alongside the US dollar, which El Salvador has used since 2001. Second, every business with the technical ability to do so must accept Bitcoin as payment. Imagine being a small shop owner selling pupusas on the street, and suddenly you're legally required to figure out how to accept a currency that can gain or lose 10% of its value while you're making lunch. To get everyone on board, the government launched a national digital wallet called the Chivo wallet. Chivo is Salvadoran slang for cool, which tells you everything you need to know about the branding. To sweeten the deal, every citizen who downloaded the app got a free $30 worth of Bitcoin. It was a massive airdrop, a crypto giveaway on a national scale. The government was essentially betting that if they just gave everyone a taste of Bitcoin, they would get hooked. It was an audacious plan to kickstart a digital economy from the top down, with the president as the nation's #1 crypto influencer. But this move wasn't just a cool tech experiment. It was an enormous economic gamble. Bukele was essentially tying a piece of his country's economic fate to one of the most volatile assets in the world. He even started buying Bitcoin for the country's treasury, tweeting out, "buying the dip" like a day trader in his mom's basement, International financial institutions like the International Monetary Fund or IMF immediately raised red flags. They were like, are you sure about this? This could destabilize your entire economy. But Bukele just brushed them off, framing it as a move toward financial sovereignty. So why would a country take such a massive risk? Was it just for the headlines? According to President Bukele and his supporters, there were real problems to solve. The biggest one? Remittances. Over 20% of El Salvador's GDP comes from money sent home. Billions flow in every year. But a big slice gets eaten by fees. Western Union MoneyGram fees of 10% or more. A huge deal for families. Government argument. Bitcoin could make sending money almost instantaneous and far cheaper. Through an app like the Chivo wallet. Cut out the middlemen. Put millions back into Salvadoran pockets. That was the flagship promise of the Bitcoin law. A powerful message aimed at a real pain point. Another reason, financial inclusion. Around 70% of the population has no bank account. They operate entirely in cash. They're cut off from savings loans, simple digital payments. Chivo was pitched to leapfrog that problem. If you have a smartphone, you can have a digital wallet. No bank required. Bank the unbanked. Receive digital payments, save money, participate in the modern economy. Bukele also hoped to attract foreign crypto investment. He pitched Bitcoin City, a futuristic metropolis, powered by a volcano, funded by Bitcoin bonds, a tax-free haven for crypto entrepreneurs. Turn El Salvador into the Singapore of Latin America, but for the crypto generation. The day the Bitcoin law went into effect, September 7, 2021, was chaotic. It was a real-world stress test of a national crypto experiment. The system immediately started showing cracks. The Chivo wallet was the project's cornerstone, and it was buggy. People had trouble downloading it. People had trouble signing up. People had trouble receiving their free $30 in Bitcoin. The servers kept crashing. It felt like the first day of Coachella, but for a country's financial system. The government took the app offline multiple times to fix glitches. Despite the rocky start, physical infrastructure started popping up. The government installed over 200 Chivo ATMs across El Salvador. You could scan a QR code and withdraw US dollars from your Bitcoin wallet, or deposit cash to buy Bitcoin. They even placed ATMs in Los Angeles. They also set them up in Dallas. These sleek machines sat next to banks and corner stores as a new symbol. Launch day also brought protests. Thousands marched in San Salvador. Retirees worried about pensions, small business owners confused by the technology. Critics called it an authoritarian power grab. People feared Bitcoin's wild price swings. What if $10 became $8 by the end of the day? Who absorbs the loss? The government promised instant conversion to dollars, but the public was skeptical.